what I did was, after I tightened this thing up in the vise, well, the first thing before I did the indicator was I took this little gauge right here. We set it on there, and we're on almost 90 degrees. Yeah, we are on 90 degrees. There it is. You got that. Okay, once I had that positioned, I snugged my vise down, and then of course we set up our indicator, and I checked here and I checked here, and whatever the difference was, I loosened up the bolts to my vise and tapped on it with a hammer, about half the difference, and we were pretty close. So you can see this indicator is sitting right on 0. We'll bring it up, feed over to the other flange here. Takes a little while for it to get there. Go all the way to the outside edge and bring the quill down on our mill. There we are. Bring it down like that. I don't want to go no further than that because there's like a dent there. I don't know if that was already like that or I did it during removal or what. But okay, just show you how close we got this. Let me get over here. And as you can see, that's about 10 thousandths difference. It didn't quite make it to 0. Let's go over to this part of the flange because this thing is evidently warped. There we go. Now within 3 if we go on this side of it. Depends on where you're at. It's jumping around. It's a very uneven surface, and I think that's going to be close enough. And of course you get in the middle, and what we'll do is we'll put us a cutter in this mill and cut across of it. Use the side of the cutter. Let me pause this camera and I'll show you how to do that as soon as I find a cutter. Alright YouTube, just want to show a little bit of the cutting on this manifold here. See, this was the highest one. I touched off on this and fed it in about 10, and it cleaned up that much. 10 thousandths is what I mean. It cleaned up about that much on that one, got a little off this one, and barely touched that one. And now we're going to move it in another 10 thousandths. There's 10. Lock her cross feed down. Get her rapid feed. Let me make sure it's set my speed. And it's probably going to take about 20 to clean all this up. And as you see, my cutter isn't going all the way down the bottom. That's because it isn't long enough for that. What I'll do is, after I get it cleaned up across here, I'll feed the quill feed down and finish up my cut down to about there. You can see another 10. Didn't clean that one up. Shows you how much this thing was warped. Okay, it's starting to cut, I think. On part of that. Yeah, this thing was warped pretty bad. And one thing I want to add to this is, if I screw it up, so what? They were junk anyway. I think it's worth a try. I can buy new ones. I would debate on whether I should buy new ones or not, but we'll see how this works out first before I spend that much money. Okay, let me speed this up between forks here. There we go. That's my feed. Now we're cutting on that one. You can see it just started scratching on that one. So it'll probably take about, it'll take quite a bit to clean them up. It may take about 30, I don't know. I don't know if that's too much. We'll see what happens when we put it all together. Then again, this had no gaskets. And if I buy the gaskets that I've seen on eBay for them, that will make up for what we cut off of it. The gasket is, exhaust manifold gaskets are usually about 50 thousandths thick, sometimes thicker. So that's not really a concern if we feel like we're taking too much off. 30 isn't that much. Okay, as you can see, yeah, we're about to clean that board all the way up. And if this works, it'll save me about $350 for a set of manifolds. Like I think I mentioned this earlier in my other videos. I think if you get them for Ford, they're about $400 a side. Something I read in a forum somewhere. I don't know how true that is. But I did see them on eBay. It's about $180 a piece. So this will save me a little money. This works out good. Looks like we're getting a pretty decent finish. That's a pretty dull cutter. I haven't spent a lot of money on cutters. I got a lot of old used end mills and cutters that I try to use. Every now and then, when I need something for a certain job, I'll order something new. But a cutter like that, it'll cost you about 50 bucks or more. They're kind of expensive. But when you think of the crap you can make on this mill, I guess it's worth it. You can see how that cleaned up. We're going to fast forward this feed here. There we go. Shut this one up. We'll pause this till it gets to the next quart, and we'll see if it cleans that one up. Okay, we made it to the next quart, and it looks like it is cutting on that one. So, let's see, I touched off on this one, fed it in 10. And then I fed it in another 10. This will be 20 here, so it's, and at 20 barely scratched this. It's going to take every bit of 30 to clean it up, but I think that'll be okay with the gasket. See how it works out. Alright, I'm going to pause this, and I'm going to go ahead and finish cutting on this, and I'll show you how it turned out. Okay, we're back. There's the finished product. It took, I guess a total of 40 thousandths. I think this was the highest one, or the first one I touched off on. It was out further than any of them, which meaning it was warped with the outer ones. The two end ones were warped out that away, if that makes any sense to you. Like I said, I touched off here and ended up taking 40 thousandths before I could clean them all up. Now what I got left to do is I gotta flip it over. There's a little tab here. I guess it's for reference in case you got a machine or something. I'm not sure, or maybe it helps keep the manifold flat on a block when you tighten the bolts, or flat on the heads. I'm sorry. But anyway, I gotta flip it over and clean that up. Hopefully that won't be much indicating. I'll just be able to use this flat surface, go against the vise, and that should square everything up. Okay, that's all for machining the exhaust manifold. Okay, I'm back. Just want to show you how I had to do the passenger side here real quick. It wasn't, this manifold on the passenger side, it wasn't a straight manifold like the driver's side. It was, as you can see, it's got a curve in it right here. So I couldn't really effectively clamp it down in the vise and indicate these flat surfaces here straight. So here's how I ended up doing this. And really, I wish I thought of this on the other one. It'd have made it all easier. Honestly, this plate here has been ground flat. It's something I used to use to press axle bearings out with. Still do when I need to do it. But what I did was I spotted some holes here, 3/8/16 thread, drilled and tapped them, and we just bolted the manifold to it. And the way I'll have to cut on this one is, now that this is in there and indicated in, I will cut one flange, move it over, bolt to these two, or bolt over here, and then cut another flange, and just keep moving it until I get them all cut. And the plan is, once I cut one, clean it up, lock my mill down, and don't move the mill, just unbolt this and do that, meaning don't move the cross feed on the mill, going in and out this way. then they all should be cut in the same position. At least that's what I'm hoping for.